So Rai Sahib was the second person to understand the divinity of Guru Nanak. After receiving his earlier education from Lawrence College in Muri Hills and then on to Cadet College in Hassan Abdal in Pakistan, if I may say that as he himself liked to recall, moved on to Los Angeles, California, a good choice. And then in 1973 completed his higher education at Northrop Institute of Technology. With a natural talent for computers and systems, Zeb founded an information technology company in Los Angeles, Nova Quest Info Systems. The rapid growth, as all you know, back in the 70s and 80s of computer systems, it flourished with many of the brains that came from the country that allowed us to flourish here in this country. So, and went on to do many other things. I would like to bring back to Zeb and his relationship on Rai Bular, which is why we're here today. And he really is our special guest today. To be able to have him here, somebody who so directly impacted all of our life with giving the opportunity and understanding who Guru Nanak was. So he will go in depth, I hope, in the relationship of his family and Guru Nanak. So it is an honor to be also having panelists in it and a special guest speaker today, Mr. Rai Aurangzeb Bhatti.
As fragrance dwells in a flower and reflection in a mirror, so does God dwell in every soul. Seek him therefore in thyself. This is by Baba Guru Nanak in the 14th, 15th century, the great humanist, traveler and teacher. First of all, I want to thank you, and I want to say that I am deeply honored to be here to present Rai Bular's descendants. Words are just not enough. I am Rai Aurangzeb Bhatti from Talwandi, now known as NANKANA SAHIB, which means Nanak Ka Ana or Nanak Aya or arrival of Nanak. I am from the land where Guru Nanak was born in 1469 AD. My hometown, Rai Talwandi, now still stands about 50 kilometers from Lahore. I am the 17th generation direct descendant of Rai Bular Bhatti, who is revered as the second person to discover the divinity of Guru Nanak, the founder of the Sikh faith. Guru Nanak's elder sister, Bibi Nanki, was the first. Guru Nanak spent the first 20 years of his life, his formation years, in and around NANKANA SAHIB. It is Talwandi where his character took shape. So as Rai Bular's descendant, his 17th generation, and representing all the other generations that came before me, I wanted to share with you what Guru Nanak meant to our family. And the best way is to read something that my father, late father, Rai Bashir Bhatti, who was a parliamentarian all his adult life and his midlife, and was in a position to help others, wrote. So this is what he writes. He says, Rai Bular's 16th generation, that was his generation, still thrives on the very same land where Guru Nanak was born, played, sang and meditated. Perhaps it is for Guru Nanak's prayers that even today the legacy of Rai Bular Bhatti still lives on after centuries. I am grateful to Guru Nanak for this. As Rai Bular's descendant and head of the family, I recognize the enormous responsibility that Rai Bular has left me, and I am anxious to step up and do my part to help others, promote peace and harmony among all humans, and not just be a passive observer and stay on the sidelines. No power can be so beneficially divert or so properly direct and fix the attention and list our feelings, arouse our patriotism, and awaken the energies of our mind as the legacy of our ancestors. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want to follow and carry on. Guru Nanak's stories were a regular fixture in our household when I was growing up, as he was certainly a role model. Some of these stories, they're called Janam Sakis, were so artistically and beautifully narrated by our elders as a favorite pastime and as a bedtime ritual to put us to bed at night. So much so that Nanak seems like a personal friend who we ran energetically around and played with. The intelligent, kind, humorous side of Nanak's personality as a boy, his quality to flex and reason, laugh at himself, mediate conflicts among his playmates, all resonated with us and shaped our personalities as we were growing up. That is how Guru Nanak became my lifelong friend, and that is how he molded my character. He was a terrific role model for me and my family. I believe that I have a responsibility to bring alive Guru Nanak and Rai Bular's dreams and wishes. A dream of propagating universal love and peace, to elevate humanity above religions, to teach and to learn from others the importance of coexistence, empathy, and harmony. And I hope I can live up to it. Now, before conclusion of my talk, I'd like to talk more about a little bit about the present situation of humans on our planet. First of all, human population has exploded in the last 150 years by almost tenfold globally. At Guru Nanak's time, the population of the entire world, human population, was 500 million. It is now 7.5 billion, a 15-fold jump. Indian subcontinent alone makes up roughly 2 billion people. Our collective resources, on the other hand, are getting scarce, both water and food. Religions, beliefs, ethnicities, races, classes still thrive as it was in the past. Nothing has changed. And there is one big difference. There are 3 big elephants in the little room that we all share. The 3 giant prominent threats lurking to our planet that are strong and need immediate attention are: number 1, nuclear war; number 2, climate change; and number 3, the enormous technological disruption that we are facing. Nuclear weapons, biotechnology, and artificial intelligence threaten our very existence, and if we are not serious in our resolve, our planet will discard us much sooner than we think. Ironically, today we also live in a so-called connected world. We hear about the globalized world almost in every media channel that we turn on. But that is a misleading statement, as we are only living in a globalized and connected economic and commercial world. Our individual world, our mindset, thinking, beliefs, behavior, and demeanor is still very much localized. We are connected, but yet very disconnected. Mainstream media, social media, small-minded leaders, and many others with narrow and very vested interests are fanning our differences and amplifying our common interests and our responsibility to our planet and to the existence of our humans. The danger of madmen using religion and race to persecute and inflict carnage on other humans is more serious than ever before. We are not connected in any way, spiritually, morally, or ethics. We are a globally disconnected world. The most important role our leaders must do is to transform the human mindset, especially for the future generations, and align it with globalization of common morals, values, ethics, and spirituality, and not just commerce alone. Leaders have to focus on severe threats that mankind is facing collectively as a species. We no longer can afford sectarian, racial, and even financial divide fanned by attention-seeking entities, greedy politicians, power-seeking business people, and conglomerates and multi-billionaires. We have to resist falling into the media-manufactured traps and compulsions set by them, which are very short-term financial gains, greed, and materialism. If humans have to continue running the world and give it meaning, it is imperative that we fight to change the current trend of short-term thinking. We have to shun and resist people who have a narrow and selfish mindset, and elect leaders in our communities and our nations who have a broader and unselfish mindset, who can teach others an unselfish lifestyle for the sake of survival of future generations and all of humanity. So where do we start? Well, let me start. The first step starts with our leadership in all spheres including yourself. Leaders have to acknowledge that these threats are real and not imaginary. Next, leaders in all nations, universities, colleges, religions, and even head of households and individual households must tell people over and over and over again to think in global survival terms. This should be a common breakfast conversation. Without a global conversation on the future of humanity and a proactive involvement of parents, children, and leaders in our society, humans will continue on a localized mindset. And this mindset is clearly on a collision course with the enormous transformation taking place due to rapid disruptive geographic and technological developments. Imagine if the wrong person gets a hold of biotechnology and nuclear weapons and artificial intelligence with the most powerful algorithms, and they are able to control our lives. What will happen? In the 15th century, there was no television, internet, or any other form of instant mass media where a message could be delivered universally to every human. Guru Nanak, for example, had to travel by foot all over the world to tell humans that we are all children of the same God, the single God of all humanity. We love Him and worship Him by any name. We may love Him by any name and worship Him by any name, Allah, God, Ram, or whichever name we prefer. But in the end, our destiny is all tied, and we are all children of the same God. I'm hoping that the leaders use this magnificent gift of the electromagnetic spectrum, we call wireless and satellite and microwave, and undersea fiber optics, to promote peace, harmony, selflessness, compassion, coexistence, and piety over and over again, and repeatedly shun arrogance, hatred, and intolerance. They must not preach hatred and tolerance, because our population is growing, and the children of hate will create more hate and more difficulty for the human race. We all know that unlike hate, which is taught and learned, love is natural. We are all born through love, and we, as a child, only know how to love. So let us focus on eliminating poverty, literacy, conflict, wars, destruction, and misery by spreading the natural love that we all grow up with. This is how we can best honor and remember Guru Nanak and Rai Bular Bhatti. Finally, to all my Sikh brethren and to all citizens of the United States, the NANKANA SAHIB and Kartarpur corridor has been opened as a peace initiative. NANKANA SAHIB and Kartarpur are the Mecca and Medina for the Sikh community. Please accept my heartiest love and welcome to Pakistan on behalf of all Rai Bular descendants. I come here to you with love from NANKANA SAHIB. Thank you very much.